Ryder is in his senior year and strongly believes something good is in the cards for him. His goal is to enjoy every moment as they come, and just before his father calls him for breakfast, he practices with himself how he plans to ask for a car. During breakfast, his mom is proud of her soon-to-be graduate, and his father reminds him he has swimming scholarships to win. His sister Lizzie is a typical sibling looking for banter. Ryder takes the bull by the horns and asks for a car, stating his senior year requires growth, independence, and attraction from the ladies. His father replies a car of his own isn't an option. He either rides with him to school or takes the bus like the other kids. However, when Ryder steps out, he sees that his dad is only pulling his leg. His parents had thought of it ahead of him and gotten him a '67 Chevelle. Ryder appreciates his gift and fires up the engine for an immediate drive. He's particularly excited that he won't have to carpool with his father anymore. On his way to school, he spots Erica, his friend, who set out to take the bus. She's surprised to see him in his new toy and is grateful she won't have to take the bus as planned. The other option was her boyfriend Greg, coming to get her, but he's MIA. When they get to school, more congratulations are in tow for Ryder. Greg is excited about taking the car for a spin, but he first has to pacify Erica, who's not happy that he bailed on her. In the school hallway, the trio meets Jordan and Ryder updates him. They're all elated that they're in their senior year, as this means high school stress will soon be behind them. Principal Hagerson graces the hallway and has a word for Ryder based on an earlier conversation he had with Roy, Ryder's father. Ryder's friends snicker and share conspiracy theories about their principal. They're all about to head to class when Ryder's swim coach calls his attention. He hasn't registered for the year, and his excuse is that he wants to focus on his final year studies. His coach can't sympathize with that and wants him to get registered before the end of the day. Ryder reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, a striking blonde with a bad girl aura struts down the hallway. Her short conversation with a guy named Blaine reveals she was in a private school but got kicked out because she's a troublemaker. Side comments as the students settle in for class confirm the blonde, Siobhan, is a handful. Their teacher, Mr. De La Vega, kicks off with their summer read. Erica confirms she did read it during the summer when she answered Mr. De La Vega's question correctly. The teacher likens a character in the book to the students. They're in a transitional phase, a time most essential for finding their footing and discovering their purpose in the world. After class, Ryder calls Siobhan's attention, wanting to know how and why she's back. She explains briefly, then excuses herself to attend the class, promising they'll catch up after school hours. Jordan is going on a date with a girl named Allison. Later, he goes to the library to catch up on his summer reading. While there, he bonds with the librarian, who's also Ryder's dad. They talk about books and favorite authors until Ryder shows up wanting his friend. His father takes the opportunity to confront him about his swimming lesson. The coach informs him that Ryder has quit. Ryder confesses he has no real passion for swimming and wishes his father would stop pressuring him into it. In response, his father criticizes his lack of direction and seriousness, pointing out that he hasn't even begun working on college applications. Ryder doesn't care for a lecture and leaves with Jordan. They join Erica and Greg on the bleachers where they discuss several things, including Ryder's dad, how good their summer read is, and Siobhan possibly dating Blaine. Ryder doesn't believe that last part. He feels rather armored with his aspirations and his new car. The year started great, and Siobhan will be one of his manifestations. When Ryder gets home, he confides in Erica about his unyielding love for Siobhan. Erica can't see any good coming out of it, as she strongly believes Siobhan is toxic, and Ryder risks putting his energy in the wrong place. Ryder remains a fool in love, ready to fight for Siobhan's love and excuse her toxic traits. He's had feelings for her since his freshman year, and they've had an on and off relationship. Ryder stays hopeful about Siobhan and plans to ask her to prom. To spice things up, he makes a bet with Erica. If things don't go as planned, Erica will win $20, and they'll share a dance at prom as best friends. Ryder finds Jordan working on the school's welcome sign and strikes up a conversation that leads to Jordan revealing that he's considering the Navy if baseball doesn't work out. Ryder mentions he's never been good enough for his father. He recalls when he was on the football team and he missed the ball. His father was disappointed and Ryder quit football afterwards. Jordan advises him to be more committed to an activity. He knows Ryder is a good swimmer and feels Ryder shouldn't have quit the team. Ryder learns from Greg that he's excited to go to Texas and meet new people, especially women. Ryder is shocked to hear this because he thought Greg and Erica were endgame. Greg goes on to say he's kidding, but Ryder can't help but wonder if Greg's enthusiasm for Texas has made him forget he's in a committed relationship. Ryder is at home when he gets a call from Erica. It's late at night when he picks her up. She's in a sour mood because she just got into a fight with Greg. She finds herself explaining to Ryder that Greg is a good guy. He just has his moments when he demands more than she's ready to give. Ryder assures her that he's not judging her and changes the conversation, bringing up childhood memories. She thanks and hugs him when he gets to her house, wishing out loud that Greg was more like him, sweet and compassionate. Greg apologizes to Erica soon after. She's been giving him the silent treatment, but she finally accepts his apology. Things go sour again the minute Erica notices Coach Walters from school at the gym, and Greg stares at the coach for a second too long. Siobhan is lounging in her car, casually smoking a cigarette, when Ryder approaches with a confident smile and high hopes. She bluntly tells him she's not in a good mood, but it only piques Ryder's curiosity about how she plans to fix it. With a smirk, she invites him to find out, and Ryder, intrigued, eagerly hops in for the ride. They go to the museum where Ryder is more focused and amused by the walking and breathing art by his side than the statues and paintings. He reaches out to hold her hand, and she lets him momentarily before pulling away, drifting through the room and having him follow. Seems her specialty is playing hard to get. Back in the car, she opens up about leaving private school. Like Ryder had told Erica earlier, Siobhan has daddy issues. He left and she's learnt to deal with it in rather toxic ways. She tags herself a wanderer, unsure where exactly she's headed or how she'll know when she gets there. Ryder asserts she has a support team, him. Siobhan quickly changes the topic. She brings up tarot cards and past lives, then music, and possibly sharing her playlist with Ryder sometime. She divulges music that has grounded her, and she listens to an array of genres. A song is playing on the stereo when Ryder leans in and kisses her. She indulges for only a moment before gently pushing him off, claiming playtime is over and they need to head back. Greg and Jordan come looking for Ryder at his house, wanting details about his date with Siobhan. He tells them they kissed, but nothing crazy or sensual went down. His friends support his progress, and Greg suggests they go fishing to celebrate. It's nighttime, and they're parked outside their principal's house. Jordan knows this plan is reckless and could ruin his shot at scholarships. Does he make the smart choice and walk away? No. Instead, he stays in the car with his friends, fully aware he's risking his future just to be a part of the moment. Ryder attaches something to Principal Hagerson's window, and then he rushes back to base to spy on him with others. The device has a string attached to it that the boys can pull, causing it to tap repeatedly on the glass and make their principal believe someone is knocking. Each time Hagerson checks out the window, he finds no one and grows visibly frustrated. The boys keep tugging the string and laughing until Hagerson decides he's had enough. They don't expect what happens next. Hagerson storms out in his underwear, wielding some kind of weapon. Jordan reacts fast, slamming the gas pedal and swerving into getaway mode. Hagerson gives chase for as long as he can, but there's no outrunning a car. During Mr. De La Vega's next class, he groups students for a mini project. Siobhan and Ryder fall into one group. Ryder offers to be the brain of their group because Siobhan sucks at literature. After class, Ryder wants to hang out with Siobhan. She has plans and invites him to join her at an amp room she feels has the best DJ. Ryder agrees to show up. At the amp room, Ryder learns that Siobhan is well acquainted with the staff. She's been coming there since she was 13, and she treats the place as a second home. She heads to the counter to grab their drinks, and when the bartender asks about her companion, she casually calls him a friend. Lucky for Ryder, he missed the part where he got friend-zoned. Siobhan returns with the drinks, and Ryder asks her to dance with him. Siobhan expresses she's not looking to do couple stuff with him, because they're not a couple. Ryder is confused because they'd kissed just the other day in the park after sightseeing in the museum. Siobhan explains she let it happen in the heat of the moment. Ryder insists that they can work it out, but Blaine pops out of nowhere and interrupts. Siobhan calls Ryder a nobody in Blaine's presence. Siobhan and Blaine briefly interact, and Ryder tries to make sense of what's happening. He gets to understand that Siobhan doesn't want him sticking his nose in her business. She shuns him when he pieces together that Blaine is Siobhan's supplier. Ryder finds his way to Erica's place. It's late evening, but she sits out on the curb with him and tries again to drill into his better judgment that Siobhan isn't the one. She tells him he's a nice guy, and she's known this since they first met in 4th grade. Ryder recalls their past. He remembers Erica has always supported him, and he admits he used to have a crush on her. It's news to Erica that Ryder ever liked her. Now he's obsessed and infatuated with Siobhan. He believes he loves her, and he just needs Siobhan to see that. It doesn't matter that she keeps treating him like a doormat, because he has faith that he can get her to see things differently soon enough. He's grateful that Erica has given him a listening ear, and she's more than happy to, but she asserts that Ryder needs to let Siobhan go, and he should know that he deserves better. Erica pushes Ryder to go home, because his dad would be worried. Ryder reaches home in the early hours of the morning, and his father is furious. Ryder excuses that he spent the night at Greg's, but this only makes his father nag him about his lack of ambition and direction, especially with college looming. There's a lot he expects from Ryder, and Ryder isn't delivering. Ryder isn't in the mood for his father's nagging and waves him off. Erica insults Siobhan, and Siobhan confronts her about it. Erica mans up and addresses Siobhan's distasteful attitude, especially towards Ryder. She warns Siobhan to stay away from her best friend. Later on, Ryder is trying to get Siobhan's attention, but Siobhan needs him to back off. She mentions her parents have been making her life tough at home with them, constantly fighting and putting her in the middle of it. Then there's the way Erica addressed her earlier. She's decided she needs to skip school for the day, and she doesn't want Ryder to tag along. Siobhan meets up with Blaine at their usual spot, but something feels wrong. She staggers out of view at the same time that a worried Ryder and an irritated Erica show up. Erica is tired of Ryder's constant care for a girl that she believes can take care of herself. Ryder just wants to make sure she's okay, worried about the mood she was in when she left school. They spot Siobhan looking a mess, her blonde hair a wild and tangled mane. Next thing they know, she collapses and both Erica and Ryder rush over to help her. Ryder is by Siobhan's side while she recuperates in her room. He holds her hand and wonders out loud why she doesn't treat herself better. Ryder gets a text from Erica and meets with her in a hangout spot. She's been there with some friends for a while before she asked Ryder to come. Ryder expects to see Greg, but Erica informs him he's sick. They get talking and Ryder remarks he's still not sure where he'd like to go for college. Erica is aiming for Texas, but she's afraid her scores won't meet the college's standards. Ryder counters that she's smart, and she should give herself more credit. Erica feels the same applies to him, especially after watching him teach Siobhan literature. Ryder and Erica take a walk, chatting casually until Ryder brings up his plans to tour Europe after graduation. He's excited about the idea and invites Erica to come along. They joke about what the trip would be like, teasing each other as they imagine the adventure. As they laugh, Ryder notices Erica's smile, and it draws him in without him even realizing it. He finds himself moving closer, his eyes locked on hers, caught by the joy on her face. Something about her pulls him in deeper, and before he knows it, he's kissing her. But just as quickly, Erica pulls back, her expression turning serious. She runs off, the weight of her relationship with Greg hanging over her. Siobhan thanks Ryder for being the hero. She goes on to apologize to him for how she treated him the other day in the amp room when Blaine came. She realizes she was unnecessarily mean. Ryder has no hard feelings but reminds her that Blaine is no longer in the picture. The police got involved and he got busted. Siobhan will either have to turn a new leaf or find a new supplier, but Ryder hopes she'll choose the better path. She tells him she'll catch up with him later, mentioning she has a doctor's appointment to get to first. Erica sees them together, but she stays put by her locker, preferring to steal glances at them from afar. Mr. De La Vega has the flu, so Mr. Money becomes the class substitute. He's unconventional and bohemian, letting them have their freedom for the length of the class. Greg wants them to skip class, so Ryder, Jordan, and Erica make up a lame excuse that Mr. Money sees right through, but he lets them have their way because it's senior year, and they've got to live while they're still young. The 4 students have to watch out for their principal and his minions, who are littered all over the school hallway. They somehow remain one step ahead, even though Hagerson actively tries to sniff out potential trouble. They end up in the park. While Jordan and Gray play with a ball, Ryder and Erica are seated on the bench. Ryder tries to bring up their kiss, but Erica wants to pretend it didn't happen. She switches the conversation to Siobhan, and Ryder updates her that Siobhan was much nicer to him the other day. He still believes she can be his date to prom, and Erica shouldn't go thinking she's won the wager just yet. Ryder and Siobhan are in the library when he asks her to be his prom date. He first asks her what she's doing for spring break, wanting to know if she'd like to join him and a group going to Padre. Siobhan would rather go to an art film festival where she would feel more in her element. She mentions another pending doctor's appointment when Ryder decides to let her know that she's beautiful and he likes her. He tells her he's willing to be with her through her hard times, and then he asks her to be his prom date. An elated Ryder reports back to a surprised Erica that Siobhan said yes. Jordan seems miles away and he admits he's nervous because he has a game soon and college recruiters are going to be present. Ryder gives him a boost of confidence. He is sure his best pal has what it takes. Mr. De La Vega gives Ryder his copy of a novel he feels reminds him of Ryder. Ryder enjoyed their last read, so De La Vega believes he'll resonate with this next read as well. Ryder learns Erica will skip Padre this spring break because she has the SATs to study for. She mentions she knows Greg well enough to go without her because he's a bit selfish. Greg and Jordan show up just then with great news. Jordan got accepted into his dream school on a scholarship. Ryder is super proud of him, and Jordan voices that he too would have to bail out on Padre because he's going fishing with his cousins to celebrate. School is closed for the season, and everyone is excited. There's a damper in the mood once Ryder sees that his car is missing. He's upset and not sure how to tell his dad that his car was stolen. He finally tells his dad, and Roy reacts just as his son predicted. He blames Ryder for his misfortune, nagging that if he were more responsible, then the car would still be there. Ryder still shows up for the party with Greg aiming to cheer him up after losing his car. Greg goes on to play party host while Ryder finds Erica already intoxicated and in the mood to dance with him. Greg spots a girl named Melissa at the party, and he's instantly captivated by her. She's there with a friend, both clearly in the mood for a good time. They're talking about doing shots, and Greg is definitely on board with where their heads are at. Ryder and Erica find a quiet spot outside the party to talk. Ryder brings up Siobhan, and Erica tries to hide her dislike, but fails miserably. The wager between them still stands. No one wins until Siobhan either shows up or ditches Ryder at prom. Erica, a bit drunk, comes up with the ridiculous idea to help Ryder practice for his prom kiss with Siobhan. Ryder tries to remind her that the last time they kissed, she wasn't too happy about it. But tonight, Erica seems a lot more open to the idea. Before they can act on it though, Erica throws up. Ryder offers to help her get something for her upset stomach. He goes back to the party looking for Greg and finds him occupied with Melissa in a room. Ryder knows he can't stop Erica from getting her heart broken. When she spots Greg, she takes off, and Greg instantly realizes he's messed up. Ryder tries to catch up with her, but Erica's already too far gone. Frustrated, he heads back inside and confronts Greg, laying into him. Greg fires back, accusing Ryder of being jealous and not covering for him, saying it's all because Ryder's striking out with Siobhan. Things are about to get heated between the two friends when the sound of sirens cuts through the air. Without missing a beat, the party scatters. Greg and Ryder are not on speaking terms. Ryder gets to class and asks Erica why she hasn't been responding to his texts, but she doesn't respond. Mr. De La Vega solemnly announces that there was a storm and it sank Jordan's boat. Allison, his grieving girlfriend, can barely hold back her sobs. Ryder gives a eulogy at Jordan's memorial service. Greg wishes Erica the best after the service. Ryder checks if Erica is doing okay. She's still in disbelief that Jordan is no longer with them. She apologizes for being distant, voicing that Jordan's passing and Greg's cheating have been overwhelming. She's learned that Greg has been cheating long before, and she berates herself for being naive enough to think that someone like him would respect her decision to keep herself until she was ready. On a brighter note, she got into the Texas university she wanted, but she'd have to attend and complete summer school first. She wishes Ryder well with prom and his prom date. Greg wants to patch things up with Ryder. He knows he's lost Erica, but he's hoping his friendship with Ryder isn't over too. Ryder accepts his apology, handing him a beer as a sign of peace. They sit and talk about Jordan and life, reflecting on how unfair everything feels and wondering how much worse things could get. Despite it all, they raise their cans and toast to everything Jordan managed to achieve. Prom day comes. Greg has a new girl, and Siobhan does show up as Ryder's date. However, Siobhan is erratic, and Ryder tries to calm her down. She lashes out that she doesn't feel much for him. She's aware she treats him awfully, but he keeps holding on to some faith that isn't working. She tells him he'll find better eventually, then she walks out on him. While Ryder is sulking, Erica shows up. She states her mom advised her to come. She sees Greg and his new girl, and she decides she's ready to go home. Ryder doesn't want her to leave. She looks breathtaking, and he would like to dance with her, so Erica agrees. Erica confesses that she has feelings for Ryder, but she's suppressed it because he is obsessed with Siobhan. While she can deal with moving on from Greg, she would prefer she stops the facade with Ryder. Her feelings are too deep to keep pretending they can be just friends. Ryder gets intoxicated, and on his way home, he's arrested. He's on thin ice when he returns home. He announces he's going to see Greg, and his father is livid at his audacity. Roy starts to yell and nag, but Ryder has had enough. He storms out of the house, and his father goes after him to confront him about the usual, his future and lack of direction. Ryder explodes under his father's pressure. He hates that his dad doesn't see he's been having it rough. He's still beat up about both Siobhan and Erica, and he's scared about the future, because bad luck might follow him there too. Roy feels bad for not knowing his son has been going through a lot. They hug it out after Roy sees he's been overdoing parenting, to make up for the lack of parenting during his own childhood. He might have unknowingly hurt Ryder, but he professes that he loves his son. Ryder loves him too. On graduation day, Greg, Ryder, and Allison take a picture with Jordan's memorial picture. Greg reminds Ryder about a party he's hosting the next day. He also mentions that Ryder's future will sort itself out. Siobhan and Ryder patch things up. She'll always remember that he saved her life that night at the amp room, and she wishes him the best in finding love. Just before she goes, Ryder asks if she approves of Erica, and Siobhan does. Erica writes to Ryder from summer school. She deleted his number in the heat of the moment, and regrets it alongside other things. She lets Ryder know he's a good guy, and he deserves the best. Ryder writes back. He's been reflecting on life. He's also attending community college to get better grades, and he's been enjoying his latest literature read. He's thought to remain optimistic about the future, even though it's unknown. While he's hopeful, he's also learning to live in and appreciate the present. Ryder surprises Erica with a visit. The moment she sees him, she runs into his arms. He lifts her, both of them full of excitement and joy. They kiss deeply, pausing just for a second to smile at each other, soaking in the happiness, before their lips meet again.